Hi, it's Raj Mapala, co-founder and CEO of Applaa. As a parent, we want to give the best experience for our kids. I've got two kids, 11 plus, and other one is doing GCSE exams. So we've spent a lot of time and a lot of money for tuitions, 40, 50 pounds a class on math, science, and English, and many things. And also we've tried our platforms and people saying, okay, use Atom Learning, iExcel, and this and that. And they're okay, but at the end of the day, you're paying 40, 50 pounds for them, and it's really not working out. It's just like only one, and again, where do you go for the next, right? And it's just like a simple mock exam practice, it's there are so many things you can do. It's not really a comprehensive feedback mechanism tool, right? That's what I think. I got really frustrated with all these tools, and again, spending with teachers and tutors is not really working out. So here, that's why we built Appla with the vision of actually helping kids as early as, like from year 8 years onwards to all the way to the GCSEs. We've got the whole curriculum built. Again, we've digitalized the whole UK curriculum here. So, and actually we're giving a value only 9.99 a month, 10 pounds, right? What is that? Is the cost of a pizza, even less than that. And so we want to give that a best experience for everyone. You can really see from year 4 to year 11, they can see every single subject, math, they can able to look at this lesson. They can practice but understand the concept first rather than writing an exam for the sake of writing. And then you can able to do a lot of practice also. Then, what is this thing? And then you can see the assessment and whatever you wanted to do. And you can do a lot of things again each year, year 4, year 5, year 6, all the way to there, right? And that's about it. And also you can, once you have there, then probably, most people will go for 11 plus, which obviously you can really see. And yeah, so we have built a comprehensive 11 plus past papers, around 5,000 papers we have. And again, four topics: verbal, non-verbal, math, and English. So you can able to see pretty much everything. You can take exams. Also, you can get the feedback. Also, you can see how many exams you've been taking. And these are the exams I've been taking, verbal reasoning, and also you can really give the feedback by the subject, by lesson, and at least it will give you a really great feedback for the parent and also teacher for obviously if he's having a teacher and also parent and the kid for writing them as well. You can do quite a lot of things as well. So an example, let's take an exam for verbal reasoning. So you can really see that it actually I did an exam math for now before it actually tells you where you got right, where you got wrong. It's really great, right? As a parent, you cannot able to tell, what is the correct answer, right? So you can able to do, and it's brilliant, isn't it? So it just saves a lot of time. A lot of institutions are charging 40, 50 pounds, even for a paper sometimes, cost like that. And we're giving for free 5,000 questions, right? And many unlimited questions and papers they can do, all for 9.99, and they can do practice again if you want to do it. Just simply go and write an exam, and you can able to see submit papers. You can directly see as well, and the results coming through. As an example, let me go back and show the exam as well. So if you see some of the exams what I've done just now, you can see that exam coming through as well. You can really see the results. So it's just brilliant way to actually get the feedback as well as assessments for the kid who is writing the exam and studying, as well as for parents not to spend too much time for them to sit with them and write down exams, and also more importantly the cost. And we'll explain a lot also all of this in subsequent videos. You can also see that as well. I'd really trust this is valuable and take advantage of this offer. It's only 9.99, which is a significantly lower cost. Anyone can able to afford it. It's a cost of a small pizza these days, and compared to 40, 50 pounds a tuition class. And I truly trust this is helpful for you. And yeah, sign up at applaa.com/UK, applaa.com/UK, and register for free. And it's 1 month free as well for you guys. So make use of it. And if you're writing the 11 plus exam, all the best. And again, we'll explain further details also in the subsequent videos. Thank you for watching.
Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that, let's be real, causes a ton of anxiety in households all over the country. We are talking about the 11 plus exams. More specifically, we're going to completely unpack the Applaa 11 plus 8-week foundation and success blueprint. If you're a parent trying to help your child navigate this massive academic milestone, or a student just looking for a clear path forward, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to break down this highly structured, incredibly effective 8-week plan that takes you from day one all the way to exam day, step by step. But before we get into the weeds, let's just pause and address the elephant in the room. are you feeling totally overwhelmed by the entire 11 plus prep process? Because if you are, I promise you you're not alone. When you look at the sheer volume of material you have to cover, maths, English, verbal and nonverbal reasoning, it is completely natural to feel a huge spike in stress. That nagging anxiety of, where do I even start? Or how are we ever going to fit this all in? Is so common. But take a deep breath. Today, we're exploring a blueprint that not only validates those feelings, but immediately gives you a practical, actionable solution to just melt that anxiety away. Okay, let's jump right into our roadmap for today. First up, beating 11 plus exam overwhelm. 2. The core study cycle. 3. Phase 1, building foundations. 4. Phase 2, testing and timing. And finally, number 5, inside the Applaa platform.
All right, Section 1, beating 11 plus exam overwhelm by changing your mindset.
The very first step here actually has nothing to do with opening a math textbook. It's all about your mindset. There's a quote straight from the blueprint that I absolutely love. It says, starting 11 plus preparation can feel overwhelming, but you don't need to study everything at once. That right there, that is the golden rule. We need to immediately lower the temperature in the room. Success in the 11 plus is definitely not about cramming all 4 subjects into a single frantic weekend. It's a structured, step-by-step process. You build strong foundations first, you practice regularly, and only then do you start introducing the pressure of time. It's all about pacing yourself. Moving on to Section 2. Let's talk about the core studies cycle, which is basically the ultimate antidote to study panic. This cycle is the fundamental learning philosophy behind the whole blueprint. It's a beautifully simple 5-step loop. Learn, practice, review, improve, and repeat. Now, I know it sounds pretty straightforward, but this is exactly how you build genuine, lasting confidence. You learn a new concept, you practice it to test your initial grasp, you review whatever you got wrong, you focus on improving those specific weak spots, and then you just repeat the cycle. This isn't passive textbook reading. It's an active, engaging feedback loop that practically guarantees continuous progress.
Now, here's a massive distinction: memorizing answers versus actually understanding how to solve a problem. The Apply method really draws a hard line between these two approaches. Think about it. If a student relies on rote memorization, sure, they might get the answer right today, but they're going to freeze up the second the real exam asks that same question in a slightly different way. By prioritizing the understanding of how a question is solved, students build the long-term accuracy and adaptable problem-solving skills they literally need to crush the 11 plus.
Okay, on to Section 3, Phase 1, building foundations and establishing a base. So, now that we've got the mindset down, let's break down the actual timeline. Here's what the first 4 weeks look like. Week 1 is purely about understanding your starting point. You take some practice questions across all the subjects just to see where your natural strengths and weaknesses are. And listen, there is absolutely zero worrying about speed here, none. Then, Week 2 shifts to building strong foundations, focusing entirely on basic concepts and common question types. In Week 3, you dive deep into maths and English, locking in core calculations, vocabulary, and comprehension. Finally, Week 4 is dedicated to verbal and nonverbal reasoning, with a heavy focus on pattern recognition and logical thinking. Notice what's missing from all of this? A ticking clock. The only goal right now is pure comprehension. When you look at how this foundational phase actually works on the platform, it's pretty clever. A student will start off with a difficulty 1 math question, maybe a super straightforward subtraction problem about toy soldiers. Then, once they completely master that, they level up to difficulty 2. It's still subtraction and addition, but now it's a slightly trickier 2-step word problem about marbles. The platform is designed to let students safely build their core skills step by step, which completely removes the intimidation factor. Which brings us to Section 4, Phase 2, testing and timing. This is where we hone that exam technique. Once those foundational skills are poured like concrete, we shift gears for weeks 5 through 8. Week 5 is highly strategic. Target your weak areas. You review your past practice and spend extra time specifically on the topics where you keep making mistakes. You're turning those weaknesses into strengths. Then, Week 6 is a huge milestone. This is where you finally introduce short, timed practice sets. The goal is to get faster, but without losing the accuracy you just spent a whole month building. Week 7 scales that up to full mock tests under realistic conditions to really dial in your time management. And finally, Week 8 is final preparation. Reviewing methods, staying calm, and feeling totally confident. Absolutely no last-minute cramming allowed.
The way timed practice is introduced during weeks 6 and 7 is really seamless. Imagine a student working on a difficulty 4 geometry question, say, trying to find the area of a triangular field. Right there in the interface, they now have a gentle visual reminder of the clock running. It might show 39 minutes on the timer. It's brilliant because it helps students safely practice their time management in a totally controlled digital environment. So when the actual exam day rolls around, the ticking clock isn't a shock to their system at all.
Let's move to Section 5, inside the Applaa platform and how it scales with abilities.
So how does this all come together? Well, let's look at how the difficulty scales. A student might start with that very simple difficulty 1 subtraction problem we talked about, which is absolutely perfect for week 1. But as they progress, they're eventually tackling difficulty 5 questions, like having to calculate the area of a triangle when they're only given the base and the perpendicular height. That is a massive jump in complexity. But because the student has followed the 8-week blueprint, gradually increasing their skills and dialing in their timing, they are fully equipped to handle that high-level question with total confidence.
Another great example of this is how the platform handles complex, multi-step word problems. Take a difficulty 4 problem that asks a student to calculate the total hours someone ran over a 3-day schedule. It's not just a basic equation. It requires strong reading comprehension, logical sequencing, and multi-step math. This perfectly demonstrates how the Applaa platform tests the deep, foundational understanding we talked about back in Phase 1. You cannot just memorize your way through a question like this. You have to fundamentally understand how to solve it.
To bring all this together, let's do a quick recap of the weekly routine that makes this whole blueprint work. Remember the core cycle: learn, practice, review, timed practice, and improve. But if you take nothing else away today, remember this: consistency is always greater than long hours. Doing 20 to 30 minutes of really targeted, focused study every single day is infinitely more effective than trying to cram for 5 hours on a Sunday afternoon. And remember, every single student is unique. You can and absolutely should adjust this 8-week plan to fit your child's specific pace and needs.
So I'll leave you with one final, very important question. Are you ready to turn 11+ overwhelm into an 8-week success story? We've seen firsthand how breaking the process down into chunks, prioritizing strong foundations before speed, and using a structured digital tool can completely transform the entire preparation journey.